Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm going to be installing the Newport vessel NK300 motor on my Hobie Pro Angler 360. Before I get to the install, I'm going to show you what I have right now. So previously I had a Torqeedo 403. So everything for that is currently installed. I'm actually going to reuse some of what I have, especially the steering that I have there. I did a video showing that steering, which I'll provide a link to that below if you guys want to see that in more detail. So let me show you what I've got on it right now and what I'm gonna possibly reuse, but it may change as we go through the installation. All right, so right now I still have everything mounted for my Torqeedo 403. You can still see the mount is there. And I've got the Tim Percy steering, universal steering over there. You can see the wires here. And then also this mount here, this is gonna actually come off because I'm gonna need to use the Newport vessel piece for the mount. And then I still have this cordage here for Torqeedo 403 that's used to pull it up, and then for the reverse. This one is used for reverse, and then this one is used to pull up the motor. So I don't know, I may reuse some of this stuff just so I don't have to, rerun everything. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Where we're gonna get started with is actually this mount. I gotta take everything off. Since this is on a Hobie Pro Angler, you have to use a special mount for it, which I have right here. And right now, the Torqeedo 403 mounts on it. So we're gonna go ahead and take this off. So I just gotta remove these two screws to pop this off. And then also I've got, let me move that flag. And then you can also see the little clamp mounts right here. These clamp onto the back rail right here, so I'm going to take those off as well. So for the sake of time, I'm not going to show you guys how to take this off. It's literally just unbolting these and then unscrewing those on the front. All right guys, so I've got the Tim Percy mount off, and you can kind of already see where my old Torqeedo mount went. So that's actually exactly where the new Newport vessel NK300 mount is going to go. So you can see on the mount itself, it's got 4 holes here. Let's see, can you see them all? Yeah, there you go. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 holes. And those are gonna match up with the holes on the Tim Percy mount right here. The 4, let's see, can you see it? So 1, 2, 3, and then 4. All right, so right here you can see there's 4 holes, and then I'm just gonna match it up with the holes that are on the Newport vessel mount. And then it actually comes with, so it comes with the bolt, the nut, and then washers, 2 washers, and then a locking washer. But it's telling you in the picture to go from the top, so have the bolt on the top going down, and then have the nuts screw in from the bottom. But when I put everything all the way through, I don't think that's gonna work because it's gonna hit the bottom, because where the Tim Percy mount is gonna be at, it's like flush with the hole. So I'm gonna actually have to go the reverse. And then on the bottom of the Tim Percy mount, there's actually it's recessed where the holes are. You can kind of see that right there. Yeah, so you can see it's like recessed. So when you put the bolt in the other way, it's actually practically flush with it, and then it'll actually be able to sit correctly onto the hole. So I'm gonna go actually this way. So I'll show you one right now, and then I'll just do the rest. But I'm gonna take one of the washers, put it on the bolt. We're gonna go through this way, pull it up, then I'm gonna go ahead and put the mounts on here. So it's the back, this is the back left if I'm looking this way. Then now we're gonna just slip on a washer, and the locking washer, and then the nut. I'm just gonna hand tighten it for right now. I'm gonna tighten everything up once I get all the bolts in. All right guys, now I've got all the bolts on, so all I gotta do is tighten them down. The kit does come with an Allen wrench and then an actual wrench for these nuts, but I'm going to use my own ratchet to tighten everything down. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of that, and then we'll continue. All right, so we got everything tightened down. All right, so to screw down the 10-person mount, you can see the 2 screw holes here, and then the 2 holes here in my PA right there. So I just line those up, screw that down. I'm not going to screw them all the way down because I still have to worry about the back here. So I have those clamps that are going to go back here. So let me go ahead, screw these 2 down, and then we'll get to the clamps. All right, so I got screws in. I left it kind of loose so I can work on the clamp that's back there, and then I'll tighten these down. All right, so we're on the back, and now we have to put this clamp on to the 10-person mount. So the way it works is there's a hole here, a hole on the bottom that correlate to the 2 holes here on the clamp. That's going to go on like so, and then on the back we've got a bolt, and then a locking nut, and then there's also a washer we're going to put through here as well. So we're going to do the top one on this side first. So I got to get back here. You can see it's not lined up at all, so I'm going to actually have to push the mount down and then try to get it through. And then what I'm going to do is try to get all of the bolts on first, and then I'll start working on trying to tighten down everything. All right guys, it's daytime again, and I did notice something after I installed this back piece of the 10-person mount, and it's these bolts here. I had to get a little bit longer bolts so they stick out this way, and the problem is there's a little trim piece right here where you stick a little this little thing, this little pin goes through here, and because of the way the bolts are, because I got 2-inch bolts, I probably got shorter, or hopefully this will work is if I flip the bolts and then have it going that way. What happens is I'm not able to fit this trim piece through because it hits these bolts. So I'm going to flip these around. If it doesn't work, I may have to get a different bolt. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. All right, so here's a look from the bottom just to give you a better idea what it looks like. So the bolts, you could see I got them a little bit too long, and it hits these trim holes you can see right there. So I'm going to go ahead and flip these bolts, and hopefully that fixes the problem. All right, so I flipped the bolts and put them in. You can see now I can put this little pin in for the trim. Have it on the second one. That should be fine. But yeah, just for the top ones, like the bottom ones I didn't worry about, but just the top ones, they get in the way. Just make sure you flip those bolts. All right, so before you put your motor on, I do have it on and it's all connected, but the one thing you do need to put on is this lift arm. This lift arm, though, it's known to bend. There are some other solutions that I just got, actually. I got one of them, it's a carbon fiber one, but also there's another one that's a different angle. It's actually shaped like a boomerang, and it's more solid than this. This is known to bend. A friend of mine just got his, and he bent his already, because what ends up happening is when you pull it, your motor will want to try to move to the side, and then that's kind of what happens, and then you end up pulling it kind of like that, and what happens is it puts a bend in it. But with the way my steering is, it actually doesn't do that. But I got that carbon fiber, you know, just in case, you know, ever have any issues. So to install the lift arm, it's pretty easy. I don't know if I really need to show you how to do it. You literally just loosen this bolt, pull it out, you slip it in, slide the bolt back in, and just tighten it down, and then you're good to go. When I install the new one, I'll have a link to that in the description below so you can see that whole process, because I'll be removing both these, the triangle and the lift arm, and installing that new one. So I'll just provide a link to that so you can see it if you do want to actually see how to install this lift arm. But it's all right, so before you put your motor on, you're going to need this pin that has these little knobs on it. Both sides has a little pin here that keeps the knobs from falling off. I don't have it on this side, I already took it off. So you just unscrew one side, and then put your motor on, and then slide this through your motor. So let me get that set up. All right, so I've got my motor right here, and you can see on the mount itself, they do have these holes. It's on both sides. So of course, this pin is gonna go through that. So all we gotta do is take the mount and then put it in, and then make sure you line up the mount to fit the holes. As you can see, there's a hole on the mount itself on this side. This is kind of the one pain when you're actually doing this, is you got to make sure everything's lined up. So that side's good. Let's go on the other side and see. Yeah, this is kind of the pain. There you go. All right, so once you have the pin on, you need to take the other knob, put that on. And then you kind of want to turn both sides until you get it on there good, because then you'll see the hole where that cotter pin is going to go. So that's on there pretty good. And we're going to take the cotter pin, which I have on a piece of monofilament line. I have this on because I did use this already, and I dropped this cotter pin several times. I dropped it one time in the sand, and luckily I found it. But then you just take the cotter pin, slip it through that hole, then you're good to go. So now you're going to need to hook up your steering, and then your reverse, and then also the lift arm. I'll show you how those will run shortly. But I have this right here. This is for my lift arm. Has a carabiner. I just put that on the top here. And this is a locking one, so you can lock it so it doesn't come off. So you're also going to need to install your reverse lock, which is right here. So all it does is it prevents your motor from kicking up. So if you go on reverse, it won't do that. So I do have a line run for that. You just hook it up like so. So if you don't want to use the integrated steering, there is a pin you can insert right here. You can see that, so you have to line that up. When I turn it, you'll see there's a little hole right there. Also, there's a little hole, so you just line this up with it, and then you take the little pin, and then you shove it down there, and it'll prevent your motor from turning, and then you can use your rudder to steer the boat. But I do have steering hooked up because I've got this Tempercy set up. I'll show you that in another video. To hook that up, you just hook up these carabiners to the triangle, and then you're good to go. But like I said, I'll show you that in another video. All right, so for the reverse lock, I had this cord from my Torpedo install that I'm going to use the same thing because it's practically for the same use. And all it is just a piece of cord. I have it run through some of these pad eyes here, and that's through my paddle holder. And then over here, I have this, I forgot what this is called, but this is one of those little H-rail mounts. It's the little flat one right here. And then there's a little, I don't know what this is called, but here, let me see if I can get a good shot. There we go. You can see I got that little eye right there. I just have it go through that, and then at the end I've just got this little ball. This came with the Torpedo kit, but there's stuff you can use in the Newport kit or the NK300 kit. So the way it works is that just have that right there, and I just pull it, and that locks the reverse. So you can see the lines running all the way back. So I just pull it, it engages the reverse, and then I let go. It will allow the motor to kick back up. So it's pretty simple. So for the motor lift, you have this line that did come with it, and then there's also this pulley, because this NK300 is pretty heavy. I imagine it's quite heavier than the 180 Pro. It's a lot heavier than the Torpedo 403 that I had. So there's a carabiner I have attached to this pulley, and then I just have it attached to this eye. So you have the carabiner here on the lift arm that goes down to the pulley, and then the pulley is attached to this eye on the mount. And then I have it run through the same pad eyes and then my paddle holder. But then in the front, I have this, I believe this is called a clam cleat. So the way the clam cleat works is when you pull the line, so it's not inside of, I don't know if you can see the little teeth here. Let's see. But there's like some teeth that are in here. And when the line is like back, it bites into the line and it keeps it from moving. So when the line is out of the teeth, you can freely pull. And then you just pull it into the teeth and then it prevents it from becoming loose. Then if you want to let it go, you just pull it out and then it comes out and you can let your motor down. So yeah, so this clam cleat allows you to easily, you know, pull your motor, have it lock in, and then to let it out, you just let go. So on this side of the motor lift line, I just have this handle. This is like a Hobie handle. You can use anything, but this is just one I have. So when I want to pull up the motor, I just pull on the line and then let the line bite into the clam cleat, and it's locked in. It's in there pretty solid. You can see the motor won't really move or anything. And then when I want to deploy my motor, I just pull the line out of the clam cleat and then I can gently let it down. All right, so you're also going to need to choose a mount for your throttle. I went with the Yak Attack lock and load mount. It's fairly simple to install. I may do a video showing you how to do that separately. I mean, it's literally just taking screws off of this and then putting it right onto your lock and load mount, but let's go ahead and install it. So it's nice with the lock and load mount is this is the adapter. All you have to do to install it is take your mount. This is the mount itself right here. So you just pull this up and then you just slide the mount on. And I'll feed my cable back to my motor, and then you just, to lock it, you just push that down and you're good to go. If you want to move it around, you just push this in and then you can slide it around, have it that way, locks in, push it again, and just push it down to have it however you like it. Kind of like mine this way. So now I got to hook the throttle to my motor and then also power as well. All right, so that was the install of the NK300 on my Hobie Pro Angler. It's not very hard to do, so don't be afraid to try to do it yourself. If you guys have any comments or questions about the install or the NK300, let me know in the comment section below. Please make sure you use my affiliate link below. It'd be greatly appreciated. So if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And if you're not a subscriber, make sure you subscribe for future videos. Well, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.